you start? Okay, it's streaming now. Okay, so
Just a second. Just trying to put that live. Yeah, you're ready.
Start. Okay. You can start. Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Ericat, for joining us here today. First off, I just want to give a little background of who Dr. Ericat is. He's a very successful oral surgeon, and we're super glad to have you on the show here today. Yes, so me and Asabi would like to, since we know that you're a very busy person, we'd like to see how you prioritize your time and what achievements you've made to help you with your success. So Asabi, you can start it off. Okay, so first off, we know that oral surgery takes a lot of work, obviously. So what are some struggles that you've encountered with your job and you've dealt with?
Well, struggles in the job itself or struggles in becoming an oral surgeon?
Becoming. Yeah.
Oh, become. So the biggest struggle I would say is just the time commitment and the sacrifice that it requires. Like in my personal journey, I finished high school when I was 18 years old. And then it took me 14 straight years with no time off to finish my training. So after high school, 4 years of high school, and then you have to do 4 years of college, and then 4 years of dental school, and then either 4 or 6 years of surgery training. I did 6, so it's like 14 straight years with no time off at all. So that was the biggest struggle, because a lot of my friends and family, they would go do a 4-year program and they would finish and they would start their lives and start their families, and I was still in the very middle or beginning of my training. So that was very, very difficult, and it required a lot of sacrifice, a lot of ups and downs. And this is very cliche. If you haven't heard this a million times before, you are going to hear it a million times in your future. And that is, and I say this to anybody who will listen, and it's very common, you've heard this, is that anything in life that is special, anything in life that is worth anything in life that has value, it is not going to be easy to achieve. It requires a lot of sacrifice and a lot of effort. And that is everything in life, whether it's in work, whether it's in school, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in your personal well-being. Excuse me, it requires a lot of sacrifice and effort, because if it didn't, then it wouldn't be valuable, then it wouldn't be special, right? And if it didn't, then everybody would have it, and it wouldn't have what makes it special. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a really important thing to keep in your mind.
Yeah.
And I know, because of these struggles, did you just experience these struggles, or did you have any way to overcome them?
Yeah, so you absolutely need ways to overcome them. I mean, like I said, for me, it was a 14-year journey, and it had many ups and many downs. And that's just part of anything in life. You're gonna hit those hardships, you're gonna hit those roadblocks, and you have to find a way to get through them. And for me personally, for me, and this could apply to a lot of other people as well, is you need a core group of people. And when I say core, it could be one person, it could be two people, it could be your mother or your father or your brother or your sister, but you need somebody or some people, me personally, to rely on, especially in those lows of lows, like when the doubts start creeping in your life, and things are going the wrong way, or you fail a test that you thought you were going to pass, or something doesn't go your way and you get really depressed. For me, I would call my mom, or before a big test, I can't do this anymore. It's just not. And you just need somebody to push you through it, saying, this is part of it. Just do your best, do what you could do, study, and that's what got me through it. And for some people, it's their faith. For some people, like I said, it's a certain individual. I had a core of group friends that I'd always rely on. Then I had my mother, so that's what got me through my struggles. But it's always good to identify who those individuals in your life are, that want you to succeed, because not everybody wants you to succeed, unfortunately. It's a hard reality that people that you're going to learn in life, that some people are not going to be happy seeing you do good in life, and others will. And you have to find those people who want you to succeed, and who also benefit from your success to get you through those hard times.
Yeah, I know me and
Yes.
Asabri, we have a lot of people in our school that don't have a good support system. And that's why they've been doing not too good in school, or a lot of people these days are just depressed,
It's
honestly.
really
But
sad. Yeah.
I know, but we're so happy that we have a big family that supports us.
Um, but going along on how you should have like a support system and all, how exactly were you able to prioritize your work as well as spending time with family and friends or other passions that you have?
It's super hard. It's super, especially like, it depends, for me, particularly, it's like, my journey took a lot of, it's 14 years of nonstop studying, nonstop tests, it was 24/7. So, but you need to make time for family. You need to make time for hobbies. Otherwise you're going to get burnt out. So for the way I did it was, I literally, back then we didn't have all these awesome smartphones. I had like a little like notebook, like a planner, and I would write down a certain time where I would just stop my studying and stop my work. And I had to give that time, to something else that didn't relate to work, or whether it was going out with friends, whether it was going to watch a movie, whether it was going to the gym to do some exercise, so that's how I did it. I just, I had to force myself to do that, because it's very, very easy to get lost in it all, and to really get burnt out. And you don't want to get burnt out, because once that happens, it's really difficult to get out of that.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's important, like along with your job, that you also have fun. So I know that you're speaking of your fitness, you like going to the gym too. So, um, is there any other than fitness? Is there any other passions that you have?
Well, it's, even now, I still work 6 days a week. So, I don't think I have any like particular like one super passion. It's just like whenever I'm away from work, I like to just do things that make me happy. Whether that's, like I said, going, spending time with the family, or going out with friends, or, doing whatever hobby, playing sports with the guys, at work, or going to the gym. The gym for me is a big stress relief, and everybody has a different stress relief. You have to find that as well. For me, I've been doing it since I was in high school, and it's a way for me to let out a lot of steam. For others, it could be any hobby. It could be any hobby that you like. For some people, it's playing an instrument. For some people, it's like reading. You just have to find what takes you away and that relaxes you. So I wouldn't say I have one particular passion. It's just like I like to do things that make me happy when I'm not at work.
Yes.
Mhm. And I think that kind of goes along with success, because in order to be successful, not only should you have a really good job, but you also need to have like other things that you have fun with and you're happy with in general. So do you have any other tips that you could give to teens who want to be successful, specifically to teens who want to become a surgeon or go into the like doctor field or medical field?
Well, you said something that I want to comment on. You said that success is having a really good job. That's part of it, okay? But if you're not happy in that very good job, then that's not true success, okay?
Mhm.
You have to, because if you're not happy, what's the point of having a very good job, right? You have to find a very good job, or any job that makes you happy and that gives you fulfillment, that you're good at, because that's where success comes from. Like for me, it's just knowing that, I've been blessed with the capability to be good at what I do. That makes me really, really happy, So but if I didn't like it, then it it just wouldn't work. So you have to find that happiness in the job that you are doing. And my advice to the teens is just like what I said before, guys, is that, you know, anything that is good requires sacrifice. Like I remember when I started my first year of undergrad, of college, like I finished high school And then I started my very freshman year of college. When I entered that campus in 2001, every single person that I would meet, and I'm not exaggerating, or knew, friends or classmates, everybody, when you ask them, what is your major? Everybody would say, I'm pre-med, I'm pre-med, I'm pre-med, I'm pre-dental, I'm pre-dental. Everybody day one had the idea that they were going to become a doctor or a dentist or a surgeon. Everybody. But how many of those people do you actually think fulfilled that or made that? Very like tiny percentage, because it's very easy to say you want something. It's a totally different thing to actually do it and to actually put the, sacrifice for it and to put the effort for it, and that's for everything, right? Like how many people say, I want to lose fat or I want to look good or I want to be in shape, but how many of them actually take time to make a diet schedule and to make an exercise schedule? See? So the number one tip is, you guys, if you want it, you have to show that you want it. You can't just say it. You have to act upon it, and you have to like just do it. I mean, and you have to be ready for those hardships. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. If it was, everybody would have it. Everybody would do it, right? So you just have to have that in your mind and be ready for it. That's like really the best advice I could give you. And then what I said before is, it has to be something that does make you happy. It can't just be something that somebody's pushing you in. I had lots of family and friends growing up where, their parents or family would say, you could only be this or that, but that wasn't their passion. So you really, like I said, get ready to put the effort for what you want, but also do what makes you happy. That's the key to success.
Yeah. So how did you figure out that oral surgery was right for you? Like, how did you know that that was what would make you happy?
I actually didn't. That's a funny story. When I was a little kid, I knew I wanted to be a dentist. It was really weird because whenever I went to the dentist when I was a kid, like when I was, in my early teens or even before my teens, for some reason, whenever I went to the dentist office, something in the office, the smell of like the materials, I know it's really weird, but the smell of the materials made me happy. And I always like going to the dentist, which is like, you're not going to hear that from kids hate going to the dentist, but I like that. So I had that connection for some reason. And then, everybody around me, like I said, wanted to be a doctor, but not many people would say they wanted to be a dentist. So for me, I wanted to be a little bit different. I didn't want to be like everybody else. So I said, dentistry, it's very respected. It's a very good profession. It's in the medical field. Plus I had a connection going to dentist when I was a kid. So I really knew I wanted to be a dentist. So when I went into high school, I was always looking up the pre-dental requirements and what to do to get, which best college to go to get into dental school eventually. And then when I got to college, same thing. I majored in microbiology because microbiology fulfilled all the prerequisites that you needed to get into dental school and all that good stuff. So then when I got into dental school, I was very blessed. I got into the Harvard School of Dental Medicine. They only take 35 people a year. So that was a big accomplishment in my life. When I was there, it wasn't until, to be honest, my third year of dental school, where one of my best friends, who was actually 1 year under me, he was passionate about oral surgery. Like he was like crazy about it. And he came to me and goes, you have to do oral surgery. And I'm like, no, that's too much. It requires too much time and effort. And he actually convinced me. He was my best friend. He goes, listen, he goes, go do some rotations, in the hospital with the oral surgeons and see what it's all about. And I took his advice and I started doing rotations in the hospital and saw the different types of surgeries that were done. And it really blew my mind. And it wasn't until then that I decided to focus on oral surgery, but it took a long time. So I didn't know it until very, very late, but that's kind of the story.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, I feel like for everyone, it takes a while to pick what for sure you want to be when you're older. That's a very hard decision. And for
Very, very hard.
some people, it comes like straight away. They know what they want to do, but it takes a while for other people. But were there any other jobs that you would have wanted to do other than oral surgery, or was it always?
It was always dentist. So back to what you were saying, people don't know what they're going to do for me. That's very true. And like, I remember in college, a lot of my friends, the ones that didn't say they were pre-med, they were all undeclared. When you ask what is your major, and they'll go, oh, I don't know yet, it's undeclared, because they didn't know what they wanted to do. So they would take lots of different classes and lots of different subjects, and they would hope to, connect with something, or something that made them, feel that excitement and that happiness. And that's a lot that many people have to do that, but hopefully I think everybody eventually does find what they want to do, and it's like a sign. They just know, it's like a gut feeling. And no, I don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't an oral surgeon, to be quite honest. I mean, I always wanted to be a dentist since I was a very, very little kid. And if I wasn't specifically an oral surgeon, I think right now I'd be like a general dentist, or maybe in other specialty in dentistry. There's 9 different specialties in dentistry. So, like orthodontics is a specialty, and whatnot. So I might have been in one of the other specialties, but I don't know what I would be doing if I wasn't somewhere in the dental field.
Oh, that's good. Well, you mentioned a lot of good points throughout this interview, but is there any final piece of advice that you'd give fellow teens looking for success?
No, just like what I said before, get ready to sacrifice for what you want, and make sure that it is something that makes you happy, and make sure that you have some kind of, support system, whether it's one person, whether it's one parent, whether it's one sibling, whether it's your relationship with your faith, well, or a really good friend, or a group of friends. I think you're going to need that to get through it. So one, be ready to sacrifice and work super, super hard for it, and expect the hardships to come, because they are going to come, no doubt, no doubt. Two, make sure that it's something that you really want to do, that you're working for it, and that does make you happy. And, hopefully that's something you could see yourself being good at. And three, make sure you have that support system of whatever it is to get you through those really hard times. And if you do those 3 things, if you have those 3 things intact, you should get pretty far in life, and a successful life.
Those are
Great.
very good, 3 good points.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for helping us learn a little bit more about success, and teaching everyone else about
Yeah,
how teens can be successful like ourselves.
I'm sure a lot of people learned a lot. We have definitely learned a lot because we both also want to go into the medical field, and nothing has sparked yet, but we'll see what we'll become. And